All right, so welcome to the Leland method for fly casting. Hopefully, you've already watched the first principle, and that was to remove slack out of your fly line so we can move the fly line as one entire unit. If you've already watched that and you understand it, you're now ready for principle number 2, and it's what I'm going to show you right now. It's how we get the rod to amplify, and we call it pulling fly line. Pulling is a strange term in the world of fly casting, but I assure you it's a very responsible term. What we're really trying to do is direct the weighted fly line, tell it where we want it to go, and do it efficiently. That's the true definition of a fly cast, because the weighted line is going to carry our leader and our fly, so we have to move it in the direction we want, and pulling is a good term to use. Why? Pulling's always smooth. It goes from slow to fast, nice and easy, no jerking, no poking, no punching. Pulling. So, if we use the first principle, I've got my line straightened out on this lawn right now. If you have slack in your line while you're casting, I assure you one thing. As you start to pull the line, the majority of your work is just absorbing the slack. And very much like starting a water skier who's in the water with a slack and tow rope, as that boat starts to take off and attempt to pull the guy up or the gal up, all that slack rope is just being absorbed. It's not helping at all. And guess what? When that slack finally comes tight, no one's going skiing. And the same is true with the fly line. So using principle number 1, I'm going to straighten out my fly line and remove the slack. Now principle number 2, quite simply, is pulling the fly line using the rod. And here's what's going to magically happen. The line has mass. It resists movement. It kind of doesn't want to go anywhere. And during the process of pulling the line using your fly rod, which is really just an amplifier, the rod begins to bend. And very much like the bow, or a limb on a bow, like bow and arrow, in this flexed fly rod we have stored energy. That's how it amplifies. Along with the amplification, when we start to pull our line, we're actually moving the line. So we're getting a bonus. We start the line in movement, we start to put energy in the form of a flexed fly rod, and that's the secret to a pull. So I'm going to pull this line in this direction, nice and smooth, accelerate slow to fast, and I've just launched the massive fly line, and off it goes. Now for some of you nerdy casters at home watching this, I am omitting something very special in the cast. But we haven't covered that yet, so there's no reason to talk about it yet. We'll get into that in a second. Since it worked this way, I'm going to accelerate my pull in the opposite direction. Here comes my pull, my rod flexes, and off my line goes again. One more thing to think about is the direction in which you pull the line. If I were to pull it from low to high, the line goes up in the air. And conversely, if I pull it from high to low, the line goes down. Simply put, the direction you pull, the line will follow. If you pull it nice and flat, the line will go nice and flat, and off it goes. Remove slack, principle number 1. Accelerate your pull using your fly rod, principle number 2. That's how we get the line moving and energy in the rod. And now you're ready for the secret principle number 3. So please watch the next video, and that's called stopping the rod.